Hi, my name is Jody Michele,
Hi, my name is Jody Michele.
and in the end of today, in the end of the disabilities that then will be talking about an important topic.
And today, Indiana Disability Justice will be talking about an important topic.
We will be talking about home health care.
We will be talking about home health care.
Home health care is when people come in to take care of the needs of people with disabilities.
Home health care is when people come in and take care of the needs of people with disabilities.
So, that's going.
So let's get going.
Cierra Olivia Williams Thomas will be the moderator.
Cierra Olivia Thomas Williams will be the moderator.
And Cierra, take it away.
And Cierra, take it away. Okay, panel, I'm so excited to hear from you. So why don't we start with you, Jody? Tell me a little bit about yourself and what disabilities you have.
Well, I'm the community IDJ.
Well, I'm the communication coordinator for IDJ.
And I'm also the hub coordinator.
And I'm also the hub coordinator
IDJ.
of IDJ.
I have cerebral palsy and depression.
And I have cerebral palsy and depression.
And PTSD.
And PTSD. Thank you, Jody. Danielle, tell us a little bit about yourself and what disabilities you have.
My disabilities that I have is legally blind, borderline personality disorder, bipolar 2, PTSD, generalized anxiety disorder, major depressive disorder, and I also am undiagnosed as having autism. And I think that's.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about you.
Oh, about
What are
me.
you into? Yeah.
I am an advocate for people with disabilities, and I run my own advocacy program personally, along with my wife, and we speak on the accessibility for those with disabilities and for the ability to have the right assistance even in domestic violence. And also speaking on behalf of other clients if necessary to help them. And that's pretty much about it.
Thanks, Danielle. Diane, why don't you tell us about yourself and the disabilities that you have?
Well, one disability I have is severe arthritis, and it's called arthrite-rhytosis. It's in the muscles and the joints. And I'm in 24/7, all year round pain. And it's nonstop. And I have PTSD and anxiety.
Depression too.
Depression too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I'm not getting out as much as I would like to. But it's hard on me.
Mhm. Do you want to share anything else about yourself?
I am an advocate for people with disabilities, and I help them figure out which building to go to or not to go to, because some buildings are not told, they don't have ramps or electric doors. You have to rely on somebody to help you at the door, and some people don't care. They do that, but some places they don't even have ramps to go into. So
Right.
I have to kind of advocate and help them figure out which building to go to, and
What buildings are accessible?
That's
which-
nice.
right.
Thank you. Thank you for that work. Okay, let's dig into this topic. Jody, why is home health care so important?
Home health is so important because it allows me to live the life that I want.
Home health care is so important to me because it allows me to live the life I want.
Without home health care, I will have to live in a nursing home.
Without home health care, I would have to live in a nursing home.
And that would mean a very different life.
And that would mean a very different life.
Because of home health care,
Because of home health care,
and I'm able to live in my own home,
I'm able to live in my own home.
and I'm able to be self-employed,
And I'm able to be self-employed.
and I'm able to um be active in the community,
And I'm able to be active in the community.
and I'm able to be a part of my church family.
And I'm able to be a part of my church family
As a millennial.
as a minister.
So that is why home health care is so important. It allows me to live the life that I want.
So that's why home health care is so important to me. It allows me to live the life that I want.
And then Pitmon will help me out of bed, shower, and get dressed.
I need people to help me get out of bed and shower and get dressed.
Yes, thank you, Cierra, for
Yes.
asking.
Thank you, Cierra, for asking. You are welcome, Jody. Danielle, why don't you tell us why home health care is so important for you?
Home health care is important to me because it gives me the independence of living in my own home, which me and my wife purchased. And it allows me to have the supports when I go out in public to be able to function as best as I can because of noise problems, light issues, and just all around stress and anxiety. And I also have the opportunity to be able to pick my own staff. And we've got 2 really good staff right now that are wonderful to have. And it's just necessary to make my life a lot easier to have the help that I need without getting overwhelmed and eventually ending up back in the hospital again, or ending up with having severe problems with my autism.
Thank you, Danielle. And what about you, Diane? Why is home health care so important?
That way I can live in my own home that I love with my wife Danielle. And she is so precious to me. And I enjoy having my own home. And that way staff would come in, help me get dressed, get ready. And some days I do stay in bed because of my arthritis. Some days it's just so bad, but other days I do get up, do what I want, and just be who I am. And the staff that we have now, they let us be who we are, and they just love us to death, and we love them to death. And that's one thing about staff that we like and we can get along with and really understand about our disabilities.
Thank you. That's really lovely to hear. And so let's get into some of the major issues. So Jody, what are some of the major issues that you've had over the years with your aides?
Because we don't have enough people in this field.
Because we don't have enough people in this field.
And no, if we have an aid.
I don't even know if I would have an aide. I don't even know if I will have an aide
On a particular day.
on a particular day.
And if I do, I don't always know who the aide will be.
And if I do, I don't always know who that aide will be.
This causes a lot of anxiety for me.
This causes a lot of anxiety for me.
Because I don't get to have a say who come in my house.
Because I don't get to have a say over who comes into my house.
Or
when
I have to build my day around my staff.
I have to build my day around my staff.
Instead of the other way around.
Instead of the other way around.
I don't get a say who touch me.
I don't get a say who touches me.
In the most private of places.
In the most private of places.
You
Help me move my left arm up.
the fact that we don't have control and one of the main issues of the home health industry.
So the fact that I don't have control is one of the major problems with the home healthcare industry.
Thank you, Cierra.
Thank you, Cierra. So thank you, Jody, for sharing that. Danielle, why don't you share with us some of the major issues that you've had over the years with your aides?
Some of the issues I've had where we've had aides that didn't believe about all of my disabilities. They didn't believe on my mental health problems. And I was literally just treated like a number at times. And without any regard to me being a human being. And they basically just put anybody they wanted in here without even consulting us ahead of time in the past. But now in that area, things have begun to change. And also the fact that the one problem I have with the system is they want me to actually use transportation independently. And because of all of my mental health and disabilities, I currently cannot do any of it without having major assistance, because I get very burned out, and I get to the point sometimes where I will shut down, or I will just have time where I just need to get into my room and have a weighted blanket over me and darkness. And there are staff that haven't really respected that. But now I've got staff that actually do respect that.
That's great news. Diane, what are some of the major issues that you've had over the years with your aides?
Well, during time that Danielle was in the hospital, and I had some good staff and some bad staff. Gets underpaid too, because most providers don't get enough pay for the staff to actually come in.
I'll add to that.
Danielle
Great.
wants to add to that.
What it is basically they've started out pay for staff at a very low rate, like around $14 an hour. And they stick at that level for quite a while, but then over time, maybe they raise the pay up for the staff. But otherwise, it's just so underfunded, under appreciated staff, and that basically they just don't get enough money, so we have a high turnover rate of staffing.
Thank you.
I knew what they and most as going with that for $10 an hour.
I'd like to add that most aides don't even get $14 an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about what we can do to improve the system. So Jody, let's start with you. How can the system be improved?
Right now, and maybe involved into a program.
Right now, I'm not even able to enter a program. Okay.
No. Right now, I am very involved into a program
Right now, I'm getting involved into a program
called self-directed.
called Self-Directed.
Yes. This means I'm gonna be able to handle my own tasks.
This means I'll be able to handle my own staff. Hire. This means I will hire. This means I will be able to hire my own staff.
This is a big deal
And this is a big deal
because I will be able to have a say who come into my house
because I will be able to have a say about who comes into my house
and when.
and when.
And I will have a say in who gets to touch me.
And I will have a say in who gets to touch me.
If they disrespect me,
If they disrespect me,
I will have the power to dismiss them.
I will have the power to dismiss them.
I will be able to have them come help me when what is best for me.
I will be able to have them come help me when it's best for me.
And I won't have to walk around the schedule.
And I won't have to work around those barriers.
No, the schedules. Mm,
What was the last word?
I won't have to rearrange my life around my staff.
I won't have to rearrange my life around the staff.
And that is really awesome. That I will have more control over my life.
And that is really awesome that I will have more control over my life.
I really believe we need to push this program so that more people with disabilities have control over their lives.
I really think we need to push this program so more people with disabilities can have control over their lives.
And that is how we can make home health care better.
And that's how we can make home health care better.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jody. And Diane and Danielle, how can the system be improved?
One, the state needs to be able to pay staffing more to be able to retain staffing. And two, Medicaid needs to direct more funding toward the staffing pay level. Otherwise, they're just going to complete having a high turnaround in staffing and stop having the providers have more of the money instead. That needs to change as well. Also, maybe change out some of the control problems with the IRs, with other reporting problems like with logbook, and because it just makes it impossible for us to really be self-sufficient without being monitored on every little tiny thing that we do.
Danielle, what's an IR? Can you explain a little bit more about that?
It's an incident report.
Okay, and how is it used against you? Do you have an example?
Used to basically state that the issue is with the client rather than with any other system out there that's not effective. And most of the time, it usually puts all the blame on the client.
Right. Like it's kind of a way to control behavior.
Correct.
Yeah. Thank you. Diane, what about you? How can this home health care system be improved?
I agree with Jody and Danielle that really does need to let clients be. If you want to be treated, if the staff want to be treated, you got to treat the client the same way. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So increasing respect.
Right. And it's got to be two ways, two-way communication. And you got to learn to work with the client, how they move, how they do things, and they need to ask the client, what do you need help with, or with cooking, or cutting up your food for you, stuff like that. And
I love that. Yeah.
so it's,
I wondered,
can't even feed themselves too much during, it's just sad to see staff won't do anything for the client if they don't want to.
There are staff that are like that.
There's some
Yeah,
staff.
you
Yeah.
are.
Diane, you talked about transportation before. Do you want to add anything about improvements to transportation?
Well, for a while, I used to, when we had one staff that was with us for a while, and she was able to get the van for us, and that was with another company. Now that she's back, the company we're in now does not have a van. So I have to rely on
Cabs.
a cab or the hospital shuttle. So the shuttle goes to the hospital and goes to the clinic around the corner of us. And they will help us during that winter time. But other than that, if it's during the summer, Danielle and I walk down, or a staff walks with me
To the clinic.
to the clinic.
Mhm.
So
So
I
thank you so much for this conversation. It has been so productive. I learned so much. And so I want to go over a few of the things that I learned about this. So home health care is so important because the key thing is it enables people with disabilities to live life on their own terms, to be able to, and what that does is it reduces stress and anxiety, which are some of the things that you listed that are part of your life. And so some of the problems are that unknown people will come into your house. Unknown people will treat you with disrespect and touch you without consent, or just touching you, and being a stranger is just can possibly be uncomfortable. There's no consultations with staff changing quite often. And sometimes people can have bad staff, and there's often really high turnover. But all of you had some really great suggestions about how things could be improved. So we learned about a program called self-directed care, where people with disabilities essentially become an employer. And so this allows a lot more control over the experiences that people are having inside their homes. And I just want to add to the previous one, I learned that living independently, like having your own home, is so critical to your wellness, and that home health care and particularly self-directed care can help with that. And then one of the other key things that can be improved aside from transportation is paying staff more. Paying staff more will enable them probably to stay. And Danielle said it allows people to retain staff when people are paid more, and suggested that Medicaid, the pay be dealt with through Medicaid, so that providers pass that money to staff and aides rather than retaining it for the company. And then finally, that increasing respect between staff and client and staff are really critical ways that the system can be improved. And so if anybody who is watching this right now is interested in getting in touch with any of these three amazing advocates, Diane, Danielle, or Jody, you can reach out to the Indiana Disability Justice Communications coordinator, Jody Michele. You can email her at indisabilityjustice@gmail.com, or you can go to our website and find us there at indisabilityjustice.org.